Thank you. Okay. So, all right. Um, Welcome. Today is Wednesday, everyone. Cool, 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 cool. Vera, are you here?
Cool,
Cool.
cool.
Yeah.
I'm
You know,
here.
every time I say cool, I get pumped, right? I get pumped. And St. Game is here. Cool, 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 cool. All right. So everybody's it's a light crowd tonight because everybody's still sort of counting whether or not that their 10 billion in their couches is still 10 billion. So Vera, did you lose 10 billion this week or you're good?
I did not lose 10 billion.
Okay. Are you
I'm hoarding my money to buy grain.
You're hoarding your 10 billion to buy grain. Is that what this is? Or you don't want to tell us you have 10 billion. You just want to, sort of mislead us. Think, okay, you know what? There's no 10 billion with Vera. It's all good. It's more like $10. Is that what this is? I'm not supposed to ask.
Are you saying I don't have 10
I'm
billion? You're
not
saying
saying that. No, no, no. This is not your point. No, no, no. I'm not saying you don't have 10 billion. We just cool want to know cool. So welcome, thank you, Vera, for joining us again, and a very exciting day. So we want to say hello and warm greetings to the entire Paloma community. We are back. We do this weekly, whether it's cool rain, cool sun, cool snow, or cool hail. We will give you a daily AMA update on what is the state of Paloma. And we want to say, first of all, say this is our final stretch of AMAs. Unfortunately, due to the LBRY case, any team in the US that talks about their protocol that they're helping build and support could be considered common enterprise. So we are no longer going to be allowed to give these weekly AMA or announcements. We'll just have to work in secret. Bummer. And of course, we're a testnet. So, the testnet grains that are currently on our network are worth nothing. They have no value. No one should care about them. So right now, it's good for us to talk about them. But if we were to go mainnet, because we're not going mainnet, because we're not telling anybody anything about mainnet. If mainnet were to happen, we unfortunately can't speak about what we're doing. So therefore, that means that for some reason we have to end our stuff on the 30th. So do with that information what you will. But anyway, Paloma is so cool that we want to remind you we're a permissionless cross-chain messaging layer. We connect to all other L1s, L2s, rollups, ZK syncs, ZK networks, as well as other non-EVM chains to send messages via Paloma, even in Solana. Shout out to our Solana brethren. Be strong, be strong. It's all going to be good. And we do so permissionlessly. So you don't have to ask anyone at Paloma or anyone in the world permission to deploy a cross-chain messaging relay network. You can just use Paloma to deploy that cross-chain relay messaging network to any chain. And the validators, of course, people have to vote on it. But if the validators and all those who are pledging or delegating to the validators, people vote their tokens, those chains then come alive. Now, this is built on Cosmos SDK. We're super happy to have upgraded. We've done a lot of upgrades in the last 2 weeks. Our goal is to make this a fee market for validators. So if you're a validator on Paloma, the reason why you're here is because you get paid money, you get paid grains, baby. You get paid in grains. You're looking for the grains. Birds eat grains, and you get paid in cool. You get paid in grains for creating or for sending messages. Right now, all our validators love this because currently Volume, the team that is working on Paloma, is refunding all the gas spent on message sending. But the goal is that this becomes a fee market where message senders essentially pay the validator network to send their messages, and their messages go wherever they want to. It's like FedEx chain, right? We said that before, FedEx chain. Of course, we're secure. We're really lucky. Thank you to the 43 test and validators that are here on Paloma without any sort of incentive. They are simply burning up CPU time and data center time and money. And so we are appreciate it. We are aware of it, which is why we're working fast. We don't want this to stay in testnet forever, which is why we have to go anywhere. We can't say why we or whatever. So we don't want to stay testnet forever. We need to launch, and we would like to again continue to iterate and improve. So thank you to the 43 validators, and of course to the other validators who are looking at the network and looking at this opportunity for moving on and trying to get it to mainnet. Okay, so we're going to talk about Paloma last week. We started doing some press. So Giselle Bunzen was checking me out at CryptoSlate. If you didn't see the picture, she was giving me that side eye. And I want to say thank you, Giselle. Shout
It
out.
was
That was
pretty.
nice, right? I mean, listen, if I lost 650 million of my net worth, I'd be looking at me too, you know? But I don't play football. But we really had a nice opportunity to talk to Crypto Slate, and that is online. So if you go to palomachain.com, um, and actually, you know what? I think if you just go to Twitter, let's go to palomachain.com. If you go to palomachain.com and you go into our blog and you hit our project developments section, you will see Giselle Bunz is no longer checking me out, but you'll see that we have the Crypto Slate, network and the Crypto Slate interview, where we really spend some time talking about really making permissionless cross-chain communication, making it easy, and making it fast. So there we go, Crypto Slate. We have also, please check out our blog for other information and updates that we are sharing daily. Now, let's get down to the Paloma client. All right, so we spent this last week. If you guys want to know, Tarek, what did, in the words of Elon Musk, what did you do for Paloma? Because it's so slow. What did you do, Tarek? I was like, Elon, well, let me tell you, bro, this is what I did. Documented every function in Pigeon's chain section, the Pigeon module chain section for Paloma, right? So there's a Pigeon module. So we have GitHub, you have Pigeon, which is our relayer. I went in to the there's a chain folder, right? And then in that chain folder, we have the EVM, we have Paloma, we have other chains. For Paloma, I went in and documented every single function in the client.go to identify and to share how Paloma communicates, how the pigeon communicates with Paloma. Out of that effort, what we are working to do is to continue to debug the log errors that validators are seeing in their logs on Pigeon. So if you're running Pigeon, and you remember, if you've been running Pigeon for a while, you've been like, Tarek, I'm getting in jail. What's up? We're getting in jail. This is all good. Cool, cool, cool. Or we are seeing a lot of account sequence mismatch errors. We have been working on essentially trying to identify why those are happening so we can fix them. And also, what we'd like to do is share publicly what we're learning about how we continue to make Pigeon work and some of the gotchas that are happening. So one of the gotchas so before we talk about that, let me just share that where we are right now is we are working on, because we upgraded from 059 to 0510, we broke some things, and some of the new validators broke some things. We'll talk about that later. But we broke some things because, like I said in the last week's AMA, as Cosmos SDK changes, Pigeon's way to communicate with the Cosmos SDK is not necessarily guaranteed, right? Because Pigeon is the relayer software, and it talks to Paloma to say, hey, I'm alive, I'm here, I'm validating, I sent a message, attested a message, give me another message, pay me for my messages. So Pigeon does all this awesome work. But when we upgrade Cosmos SDK, we are at risk of breaking Pigeon, which is essentially, we risk at breaking the communication between Pigeon and Cosmos SDK, which happened. Now you could say, Tarek, well, why don't you just go back and look through all the changes in the change log in the Cosmos SDK and then match those up against your functions? And I'm like, that, my friend, is madness. But what we wanted to do was say, let's harden Pigeon by essentially documenting and inventorying all of Pigeon's functions in talking to Paloma. And then what we're going to do is, while we are documenting this, we are then going to harden those Pigeon functions that may have had impact from Cosmos SDK upgrades that we have yet to understand or see. And so towards that end, we've done two things. We've now launched a private Paloma network, which is much faster. Proposals get approved in 15 minutes as opposed to 2 days. And we are essentially logging and tracking on New Relic all the log errors that we're looking at so we can say, hey, this network is happening. Now, where we are at is that we are looking at nonces and nonce creation. So for those folks who know what a nonce is a random number that is generated to pose as a unique indexer when creating a block. So what we are trying to determine is what is happening with the nonce behavior when Paloma is creating a block, and other validators are looking for that block, and then the pigeon is out of sync with that block, right? It's because the pigeon is trying to send a transaction, and it could be as easy as restoring stale nonces. This is the hilarious thing. So right now I am in the middle of nonce storage performance on Cosmos SDK and Pigeon, so we can continue to remove one of those bugs. Other bugs. What we have is, of course, we're still having problems with our Ethereum contract not yet deployed, and our Binance contract deployed, but our val set update's not happening, right? So that next problem is why are we not seeing our messages? What's happening with our messages? So we spent this last week again digging through all internals, and I want to say Vera is an amazing bug hunter. Everybody give it up for Vera.
Woo.
Because Vera went through all the goddamn logs. Like she just combed through each of the chain infos, querying the chain to see what was the state of those messages. And the short story is that we had a bad pigeon. So we found this very, very bad pigeon. And this bad pigeon, I don't think he's on the show, but this bad pigeon is Nako Turk, all right? From the Turkish community, give it up for Turkey. Yeah, crashing the Paloma network. So Nako Turk turned out to be a really, really bad pigeon who was essentially collecting the messages but not signing them. He was not signing them, or she was not signing them. But she didn't know because we don't have UI to tell her, hey, you're not signing, right? This is all new software. So we haven't written UI to tell her, hey, your pigeon's in a bad state, please sign. And what she or he did was had an auto unjail. So every time she got jailed because she was not signing or her pigeon was in a bad state, he would auto unjail and be like, yo, dude, I'm good. And because this auto unjail script was so effective, he was able to get back into the validator set while being in a bad state. So what we're learning is that the marriage between Pigeon and Paloma is not as strong as what we had assumed would be, and that running and that race conditions are easily created in the Cosmos SDK by folks who simply run the same command over and over. Isn't that amazing? So literally, you can hijack. Today we're learning that you can hijack the message system by simply unjailing, right? Like running unjail, 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 unjail every time you've been jailed, and essentially maintain yourself in the validator set while not having a ready relayer. So Nakaturk, we worked with them to share with us their config.yaml, which was a mess. They updated it, and it's not that bad of a mess. It just means it was old. They updated it, and he came back online, but we're still not seeing messages. So we're like, all right, we have to further figure out what. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to inventory all the validators in our validator set in a separate inventory sheet. And then what we're going to do is essentially query everybody to confirm that they are running the correct config.yaml and that they're Paloma and that they're not running unjail, automatic unjail software. We know we can't enforce automatic unjail in Min, and everybody will run automatic unjail because, hey, that's the thing you do. And we need to write better software. But what we want to do is, again, continue to remove the pigeon performance issues that may be stopping final signing of the message. And so with every pigeon we're going to go through, we have 43 pigeons. My God, this is fucking awesome. We have 43 pigeons on testnet, right? So I'm super proud of this. And I just want to say cool to all the pigeons who are running your nodes. You're good birds. And what we're going to do is just try to QA each bird to make sure that they are running the right configs and that they are able to sign. And if they're not, then can we check the logs to see why they have still not been able to sign? So we also are learning that our design was that every pigeon would be required to sign a validator set, to sign the val set. We think maybe that might not be efficient, right? Because if you're a validator with like just 10 grain, and you're at the bottom of the validator set, why do we require you to sign? We did that because we were like really obsessed about security, but we're thinking maybe we might do it differently, or might revisit that decision because that decision may be also making Paloma brittle again, Pigeon brittle against changes and upgrades, where validator sets get refreshed, nodes get refreshed, and suddenly we're not able to get val set signed. So we are on the hunt for the val set signing problem, and we are on the hunt to continue to make validator happiness a key important aspect. So we know validators get frustrated, and when validators get frustrated, they take solutions into their own hands, which is the right thing to do, and they write unjail scripts, very very sharp. What we want to do is say, hey, we're going to continue to make the UI of the validator experience less painful, so folks can see what was wrong with their system and fix it instead of hitting the unjail button automatically. All right. So that is the state of the SDK. We are still working on it. We're still improving it. And I just want to thank everybody for being here and for helping us, supporting us with bugs and issues. Now we're going to talk about some awesome hotness, right? We have some newness, some new feathers. We got new feathers in the house, and Paloma Nest Wallet. We would like to introduce the proper announcement. I talked about it yesterday, but last week that was bad. I jumped the gun. But I'm super excited to talk about Paloma Nest Wallet. It is super cool. It's where you keep your eggs, okay, and your grains. Vera, will you please introduce us to the beta of our Paloma Nest Wallet? What is this new hotness?
Yeah, it's the Paloma nest, and as you said, that's where you keep your grains, so that if your pigeons are hungry and need to come home, they have somewhere to feed on.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where you keep your eggs. We'll see. But yeah, so it's been in the store since last week. It's currently still in beta. It's the very first version. We are working on updates, but it's not just up to us to get them live. We also always have to cooperate with Google and get them reviewed. And we're still learning on how that review process works. But at this point in time, you can create a new wallet address. So no longer do you need to run your own Paloma D or run a node or do anything of that complicated stuff. You just go to the Chrome Web Store, search for Paloma, and then you basically can add the Chrome extension to your Chrome browser and create a wallet. Now, there are still some known issues, and thank you so much for Solomon, I think 75, and Kaya for some feedback and actually giving it a spin.
Cool,
Um,
cool.
cool, yes, because we do know that there's some known issues. So we've heard and we're aware and are fixing it that you cannot send grains on that version. Thank you so much, Kaya, for that video of the multiple tabs opening. That is something that we're fixing as well. Also, what we are planning to add is exporting your wallet using the private key and importing your wallet not only using the private key, but also using a mnemonic. And then another known issue in the current version is that you cannot add multiple wallets after you created a first one. So lots of new things that are coming down the pipe that we're aware of and working on. And that being said, if you are playing with it, because this wallet will be usable for testnet and mainnet, be careful of which browsers you use. Make sure you use best security practices. I think that goes without saying in crypto, especially these days. And if you are playing with it, please leave us a review. Be kind to us. Also, big shout out to Kaya here, who already left us a nice review. So follow
Somebody,
that.
I feel cool. I feel somebody is earning grains grants without signaling that they're earning grain grants.
I know it's
I don't know
a
what it is
super
about.
user.
I know, right? Somebody says, "Listen, give me my goddamn grains." Just like, okay, all right, calm down. But yeah, reviews and sharing your thoughts will not be forgot, right? Because it's public and it's evidence. So, again, we can't promise anything, but the evidence of your contribution to either testing or the evidence of your contribution to comments or even great reviews, it would be grain worthy. I think grain worthy is the word. So yeah, please do let us know what you think about the beta.
Yeah, I'm very excited, and I think we can make lots of things happen with that wallet.
Yeah, I just, I keep thinking all the good things, the possibilities that if there was a, like, when you're near a nest, you want to have other birds in your nest. You want to have eggs in your nest. You want to keep some grains. You want to use your grains to do other things. Really, the wallet should be a great jump point for folks to get into the Paloma protocol and use the blockchain. So it's the holidays, and because it's the holidays, we should really be looking to do other cool things. Make sure that that Nest is wallet is really, really exciting. So again, we can't say what's coming because again, if we construe it as bad things. But I want to say thank you very much to Joyce. Thank you to Vera. Thank you to Jack for spinning this up, fighting with the Google Chrome Store to get the wallet listed. The wallet's already in use. We have folks who are even, we share it and folks are using it. So this is pretty cool. And we will continue to release daily updates so that the bugs can resolve themselves. But there's lots of cool stuff that the Nest can, especially when you have a cross-chain protocol and then you have a wallet that has that. Anyway, lots of cool things here. All right. So yeah, the wallet's hot. All right. What else do we have after the wallet? Security. Just reminder, um, it's a browser-based wallet, so please, your browser is compromised. Most likely, somebody's spying it. Don't let someone steal your grains. These are hard-earned grains. You deserve these grains. Please don't let anybody steal them. So please, use a clean browser and make sure that you uninstall MetaMask and you only install Paloma Nest Wallet. That was a joke. That was a joke. All right. So next up is we have 2 minutes left before we go. Again, we can't tell you what's coming next week. But what we would like to say is reminders to validators. Please check your pigeon.config, pigeon.pigeon/config.yaml to make sure it's okay. We're going to be sending around messages to have validators check their queues, make sure that you can debug your queue, make sure you can test your queue and make sure you're okay. And also we may be asking pigeons to stop their validators just to confirm that the network is not being gummed up or being brittle because of their stuff. Our aim and goal is to get back val set updates at this new update because we want to upgrade to another version of Cosmos SDK. Also, I would like to publish the documentation of Pigeon and all the functions so that it's out there for folks to see. I think we may do that as a blog post where it's a glossary of terms. You can see how every piece of Pigeon works. It's a beautiful piece of software. Thank you, Mattia, for his hard work on it. There's a lot of cool stuff there, but also a lot of things we can improve and architecture decisions we made that we should be updating so that it's easier for messages to be relayed and it's easier for pigeons to sign and also easier for pigeons to check their system and verify that they are in a good state so that they can continue flapping their wings and flying to these other networks. Cool. All right. And with that, we want to say special thanks to everyone again who's on the AMA. Please ask us questions in the Discord or in the Telegram, where we live in both. And we simply cannot wait to have the next versions of the Paloma Nest wallet available, so you can start, stashing your grains and keeping your eggs warm as they get ready to hatch. With that, thank you, Vera. On to next week, and everybody keep those 10 billion safe. You never know when you might need it. Cool, cool, cool.